pass the budget in record time. A lot depends on ministers, the MDAs, and the revenue spenders. If you don't come on time or defend your estimates, there is no way we can pass the budget on time. It is very important that we all work together to ensure that we return this budget as soon as possible so that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can sign it into law by 31st of December of this year.
The budget that was presented empty to the National Assembly after they explained that it was Nigeria has moved from an analog to digital, but yet we can see some analogical behavior from the presidency and the APC administration, if there's anything like that. So now the Senate is saying that this is going to be a record-breaking budget processing. And according to the Senate President,
pass the budget in record time. A lot depends on the ministers, the MDAs, and the revenue spenders. If you don't come on time to defend your estimates, there is no way we can pass the budget on time. Plug the loopholes of leakages and wastages, and then bring more revenue so the 2024 budget will become realistic.
It is very obvious, and it is a fact that if the ministers and the MDs and the rest, honor the invitation or come before the Senate on time to defend their budget, it is fine to actually pass this budget on time in order for the government to go to work immediately. But let's ask ourselves, this budget have a lot of things to look at. If you look at some of the project and some of the things that they are planning to acquire for 2024, which are not necessary, the National Assembly shouldn't rush to pass this budget. Having seen that the executive rushed to submit this budget, they should calm down, look at this budget critically before passing it. Passing this budget, a budget that you don't even have money to fund, and you are seeking to borrow money left, right, and center, but then you don't have you don't scrutinize it properly, then it's throwing the country into another economic chaos for the next 1 year before again we'll go for another supplementary budget for another budget, looking at the fact that even the budget that is proposed at $7.7 per barrel crude oil, now the crude oil is dancing yakata around 7.4 per barrel. And if if we pass the budget at that level, what happened? If the oil price drop to 60 or even 65, then what happened to the budget going forward? This was the same mistake Muhammadu Buhari made in his first tenure, and we saw how it works. It is better to even have the budget at 65 per barrel rate for the oil, and then see how you can cut costs and reduce some things that are not necessary, saying that they are going to pass this budget, in fact, before 30th of December.
It is very important that we all work together to ensure that we return this budget as soon as possible so that the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria can sign it into law by 31st of December of this year, and it can come into operation from 1st of January of 2024.
I don't know how they're going to do it, but listen to them.
Fiscal space is exhausted. And the solution, as you probably heard earlier today, is that we have to focus on the concessional funding. We use the financial markets to take the stress, our fiscal stress down.
But we kept talking about revenue and debt. We never mentioned assets. We never mentioned equity. Let's focus on what we own and how we can leverage what we own to solve the problems that come.
I would like to call on the National Assembly to really be a bit more ambitious, Mr. Chairman, to make sure that we don't wait until 2026 to lower inflation rate to 18%. In fact, it should be next year as much as possible, because inflation erodes income and is taking toll on the cost of living.
That is it from me. What do you think about this? Is it right for the National Assembly to actually rush this budget to pass it, for the executive to spend the money that they don't have or to listen to the outcry of Nigerians and look at how this budget can be properly scrutinized and things that are not really meant, I mean, they're not really important, to execute in this 2024 fiscal year to be removed. Especially, we need to look at the security aspect of the country and the educational aspect of the country. If you look at our barracks, you look at police officers, you look at where they stay, it's very, 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 too bad for our security officers to be staying in such barracks and all of that. But then, even when you fight for the security officers, they will be the one to turn around to kill you tomorrow morning. I'm just making my point, and that is how it is. Like a young man that was shot some days ago by the police, and they went ahead, covering the police officer who perpetrated the evil face, from public. But if it is other people who committed any form of crime, they will parade them with their face not being covered. Anyway, what do you think about this? Let's have this conversation at the comment section, but do well to share this video to reach a larger audience. Thank you for always staying with us.